Hello, and welcome to the latest installment of And Sarah Appeared. My name is Sarah, and I'm appearing before you today because this little light of mine, I didn't really let it shine this year until the end of the year. And, with that being said, I really learned this year to allow myself to express myself without and I just came into this, allow myself to express myself without fearing repercussions, because really nobody else around you is gonna, they don't fear repercussions. Voicing my opinion when I actually, it's slipping. Actually, learning to voice my opinion when something is offensive or hurtful, and learning to not only distance myself, but to allow myself to go through the emotions of what that feels like and what that looks like. Also, honey, learning to really release a lot of stuff that I can't control and release things that are not really my fault as well. And learning that and learning that through, learning that through prayer, learning that through epiphany and revelation, and understanding that the light that I do carry, it can shine forth. I just have to allow God to remove the darkness that's unnecessary, because there's going to be times where it's just like, hey, there's issues, there's problems. I'm not perfect. And I think that's where a lot of the times in the church we like to see, and I think that's kind of like how my thumbnail came about. See, we like to see things in black and white. Either you're a demon or you're not. Either you're good or you're bad. Either you fit or you don't. And really, the truth of it is that it's neither this or that. You're a combination of both. But the problem is you have to be in a repetitive stance spiritually of allowing God to flush you with his light, in order for your light to, one, be rejuvenated, and two, emit to whoever's life you're about to touch. I was one of the people where it was always something that I never allowed God to pour back into me. I never poured into me, and I sure did not speak up and talk about the relationships that I needed to pour into me. I didn't. I didn't feel like I was worthy of being poured into. And so what happened is I attacked myself. I attacked myself and I punished myself when God wasn't even punishing me, because I felt like I didn't deserve the best. So I didn't make the best choices. And I thought, I'm just going to go through life and this is how it's going to be, when God was really saying, no, there's more. There's more. Every trial, every tribulation, every tear, everything that I had bottled inside, every disappointment, it came out on full display in a volcano this year. And it's the best thing that happened. It's the best thing. It's the most freeing thing. I feel even more free. I don't know. I just feel closer to God. I feel closer to God. I feel more free in my convictions. Like, I literally now can say, okay, well, yeah, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want to set back the relationship I have with God, versus I don't want to do that because I'm being afraid to explore other avenues of myself. And like, I'm learning that God is teaching me to explore other avenues, and he's teaching me spontaneity, and he's teaching me how to, grow my faith and not be, afraid because of past traumas that have happened. When I've taken risk in the past, or when I've done things in the past, it's like it blew up in my face or it went horribly. And it's like, no, like, listen to God and go out there and do what you need to do. I feel more freer to take accountability for the roles that I've played in the issues that I've caused. But I'm also a lot more freed and at a more place of liberty to call out and say when something wasn't my fault, when something was an error on someone else. And you know what? From there, it allows the room for forgiveness to be opened up. And forgiveness is not something, and that's the thing. A lot of people, what I love and appreciate about my platform is it is an imperfect guide to walking with God. And forgiveness is not something that's one and done. If you know what, some people are able to forgive and let go, and they have that spiritual and mental maturity, and that's good. But for me, forgiveness is something that I've had to practice, because every day you wake up, there is a new epiphany, a new revelation of, you know what, that wasn't all me. Or, you know what, that was me, and where did that come from? And why am I reacting this way? And where were my, like, what's going on? Like, it all comes into perspective, because it's God trying to get down to the root of the problem, the root of the issue. So, like, when you see yourself and you're bumping your head and it's the same thing, obviously it's God trying to get your attention, but obviously it is also it's also him bringing you through that process. It's him bringing you through that process. It's him saying, okay, I know what they did, but I don't want this to affect you anymore. You've got other people that you've got to encounter, and they're going to need your strength. And so in order for you to be able to give of yourself, I need you to give of me, and then I need you to give of love to yourself. And I've been learning to love myself unapologetically, even if I don't fit societal aesthetic. I don't need to. I don't need permission to. In fact, me accepting anything less of praise when it comes to who I am, and I'm talking about someone who's really doing the work to not harm or bother other people. Because a lot of the times we see things as, that was very evil, this is childish, this is this. I've learned the art of forgiving others, but I've also learned the art of forgiving myself. I forgive myself and I release everything that no longer serves me. Yeah. And it feels good. And I can't look to the left and look to the right and look for other people's opinions, because the truth of the fact is everybody's got dirt. Everybody is doing something. Nobody is perfect. Even the people who don't do anything physical or don't do anything like in the natural, there's things in their hearts that God is not pleased with. There's thoughts that they have that God is not pleased with. Everybody has some sort of pitfall. I think also in 2022 was a precursor. I'm like a spiritual trendsetter. So what you saw what happened with me in 2022 will continue in 2023 if we are not continuing to be intentional about how we treat each other. You don't know. You don't know what someone is dealing with. You don't know. And also, let's normalize, stop forcing ourselves on other people. Whoever you are, stop projecting, stop forcing yourself on people. Not everybody is going to receive you. You are not everybody's cup of tea. Deal with that rejection. Deal with that. Deal with that. Really. Deal with the codependency. Really. I mean, I've had to. I'm still dealing with it. And I am unapologetic. I am still dealing with it. Jesus is a mind regulator. He is. You just have to have your mind made up that this situation has to be regulated. You got to have your mind made up that you want to lean into him. And a lot of the times that calls for stillness. That calls for self-reflection. That calls for a conversation of self. Yeah. That calls for self-care. However you need to get that. That also calls for community, the right community, and having a safe place where you can just lean into somebody and you can talk and you can listen. You can hear someone's story and relate to it, but not say anything about it and just sit there and listen. You can do that for someone. You can come out of yourself and you can care for someone. But you can't do that if you're bleeding all over the place. You can't do that if you're constantly wounded and you're not allowing yourself to be healed. That was my biggest problem. I was being wounded over and over and over by outside circumstances. And I'm not going to lie, I have to apologize. I have to apologize to myself. I've had to apologize to people who I've affected. I've had to... And it's because of maturity. Because here's the thing. If I don't apologize to you, I'm not sorry about it. I am not going to apologize to anyone that I'm not sorry to. And when I say sorry, I mean like that I don't intentionally mourn or grieve the attitude or the attribute that I had towards the situation. You know, some people go low and I went low right along with them. That happens. People who are saved, they get low. Sometimes you are a low life. Sometimes it's right in your makeup. You're a low life. But don't stay low. Pray to God and do not stay low. Rise above everything that's going on. That's only going to happen in his presence and in surrender. That's only going to happen through the blessing of God. Like, I don't need... Right now, the mental and the emotional freedom that I have is greater than any monetary gain that I could get or receive, because I have freedom. I have real freedom. I have a new chapter. I have a new horizon, and nothing will stop me. Nothing will stop me. There are godlike detours that are happening in my life, and nothing will stop me. I'm not going to fall by the wayside. I'm not going to stop. My soul will not be broken. It's just a rejuvenation, and I'm so glad about everything that I went through this year. Even the parts where I had to stick up for myself, where I had never stuck up for myself before. Even those moments where I sat in my car and I cried and I didn't know what was going on, what was happening, why everything was crashing in on me. I'm still here. I'm still standing. And it's a testament to the strength of God that is over my life. I'm so happy. I've loved and I've lost and I've had fake love and I've tried to force feelings that were not really there, but because there was community pressure and it was like, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it was like, I don't feel it. And then I've stumbled and came across hope and love and everything else. And I definitely believe that God has more for me. I've definitely believed that God is with me. He's walking with me. He's there with me. And most importantly, he's rooting for me. No more bleeding. I'm getting repaired. No more bleeding. I am being repaired. And God believes that I deserve joy. I deserve a peace of mind. God believes that for me. And now I'm finally to the point in my life where I believe it for me too. And it shall come to pass. Yeah. So shall my word go forth out of my mouth, and it shall accomplish the thing whereto I sent it, and it shall not return unto me void. Joy, restoration, rejuvenation, witty ideas and inventions, all of it. I can't wait. Bye for now.